you can't do that thing, but you really want to, secretly hiding in a corner and being like, my vision board. I'm really happy with the one I did. We are gonna build a vision board together. I'll give you a file, I'll give you a template, everything you'll need to create your best vision board. I think vision boards are important because they help you achieve the next level of who you wanna be. And so we'll go through every single step. I wanna let you know there are timestamps in here because it's quite a long video. This is extensive to help you build a really complete vision board. If you want something quicker, this might not be the video, but you can also skip around to the parts that you want or just download the file and do it yourself. The file is in the description below. We're really gonna walk through that together, but please use those timestamps to jump through the video, or if there's something you're not interested in, to skip around. But if you do watch the entire video, I'm sure it will really help you create your best vision board ever. Now let's get into it. I personally love vision boards. The reason why, you can create whatever you want, imagine whatever future, and you can bring it into reality. The reason why it becomes part of your reality, you're thinking about it and seeing it often. So let's say that there's something that you wanted, something that you think about, but you only think about it once every 5 years. It might not really happen. Like, I've always wanted that dream car, or I wanted this dream house, or I really wanted to write a book. And if you don't think about it that often, it's gonna leave your brain and you're gonna end up going to work and dealing with family stuff, and you're never gonna get that book written. If you're seeing it every day, just something simple, for example, if all you wanted to do was write a book and you wrote a big poster and put it on the wall every time you came in and said, I want to write a book, and you'll see that every day, you'll think about it and hopefully you'll get closer to writing that book. And a vision board is something like that. By having a vision board, you can go back to it, you can see it often, and you can reach your goals. I have my computer in front of me. I have built out this PowerPoint presentation. It sounds like I'm living like in the 90s or 2000s to say that. But I have this PowerPoint presentation. It's very simple. I just wanted it to be as simple as possible. And I'm gonna share this document with you. You can just follow along and do your own thing if you want. But you also can download this document. I'll have the link in the description and you can fill it out on your own. What I will do is I'll share this file specifically, and like I have this little test document here. So if you have PowerPoint, you can use that. I'm specifically using Google Slides. So if you have a Google account, a Gmail account, you have this free, right? Because you might have to pay for PowerPoint or Excel on your computer or Microsoft Office. If you don't have that and you just have a Gmail, then you get all that stuff for free through Gmail. And so if you don't have a Gmail, you should create one to get this stuff for free. But you can do this however you want. I'm just going to give you an example. Here's the Google Drive, and if you download that file, you can just bring it right in here. Sorry, it's just a file upload. Click on the file, and your file will be uploaded in this PowerPoint, and it will turn it automatically into a Google slide. So all you need to do is download it, bring it into Google Drive, and it will automatically come up. Just in case you don't know, to get into Google Drive or in this area, if you go to your Gmail, there's these dots up here where it says Google Apps, and you have all this free apps, free docs, sheets, which is just like, Excel. This is just like Microsoft Word. Slides are just like PowerPoint. It's all free. If you already know this, great. I mean, so many people do know this already, so you're probably like, why are you going over this part? But I have some friends and family that are probably not as familiar with this, and I think this will be very helpful for them to know they can just get this for free and that you can follow along precisely. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll answer this quickly because I know people want to work on their vision boards and you're excited about it. When you're in the moment and you're excited about it, you want to keep working on it. So I will try to answer these questions as quickly as possible. And so I'll go back to the vision board template. And again, you could just write this down. You could do it another way if you want, but I'm going to walk through this presentation. So we want to make our 2025 vision board, and we want to imagine a wonderful future. So the first thing that we're going to do is envision that timeline. For a vision board, you do not have to think of a very, very specific time. So when I'm saying 5 years in the future, you don't have to really stick to only 5 years in the future. You could also do 10 years, 20 years, whatever it might be. But it's okay to start thinking about that. And if you want, you can close your eyes. It's up to you. Some people are like, oh my God, I don't want to close my eyes. But to be honest, you have all this visual stimulation going on just in your day, or you're watching me. But if you want, during this video, you can close your eyes. Hopefully nobody's watching you. If they are, they're like, wow, he looks so calm, or she looks so calm right now. Close your eyes and think, where do I see myself in the future? Am I imagining myself 10 years down the road with family? Am I imagining myself with friends? What is this vision I have, and when is this? And get that sense in your mind. You can take as long as you want to do that. I'm just gonna click on to the next slide and say that there are some other pieces that can go into this vision, whether your eyes are closed or not. You can start thinking about your relationships, your professional life. So this is, where do you see yourself in the future? Where do you see your relationships? Where do you see your professional life? Maybe your health or your body. And so you can start imagining pieces of these. We're going to walk through more specific examples on each of them so that you can walk through it. And so each one of these has its own slide. So here's a page here. If you don't want to watch the YouTube video, I mean, you can just have this document and just do it yourself. You don't need to watch the video, but doing it along with the video, I think, is probably the best thing, because it'll just have you, feel like you're doing it with someone, and it'll make it a little bit more fun. So on the next slides, you want to answer the questions. You can put pictures on the slides if you want, or wait till the end. And if any question doesn't resonate with you, you can skip it. So this is the first one, life goals. Any goals you have dreamed about accomplishing. So just start thinking about there's anything that you've dreamed about. And any point, I would say you can pause the video and answer this question as much as you want. And whenever you feel like you've answered enough, you can watch the next part. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each one of these questions in this video with you. You can go at your own pace. I would really recommend you go at your own pace rather than just like watching me and trying to speed through it, because I'm not going to do it to the depth that you are going to do it right now. I've already done it, and I'll give you some examples of that too, so that you understand where we're going with it. But at this moment, I'm just going to work through it with you. So life goals, any goals you dreamed about accomplishing. When you're writing this, do it however you want. I've seen people do it differently. You can either just bullet it out, or you can write it in sentence form. I like sentence form, just enjoyable for me. So for life goals, I'm going to write, I want to write a book. I want to have my own family, meaning, I want a wife and kids. So I'm doing it a little bit sporadic right now. Usually I'm going to write out full sentences. So other people might just say, write a book, start a family, have 2 to 3 children. So it's up to you how you want to do this. You can take as long as you want to do that. I mentioned you can put pictures on here if you want, if they're popping into your head at the moment, or you could just wait. When I did it, I just waited. And then let's go to the next one. So relationships. Write about your ideal future relationships. And so this one here is when I would, imagine my wife. So I might start thinking about that again. I'm going to write in full sentences. It's just what I enjoy. So I have a girlfriend now. I want to get married to her. I've envisioned that into the future. And I also want to be a good father. So I'm just going to keep writing and filling out as much information on here as possible. I'm not going to do that on the video with you. I've already done it, but I don't want to just like bore you with that. This is for you, okay? Even though I could give you examples, you got to do what's most important for you and not use the examples that I'm giving, because your life is very different than mine. The next one, professional. So this is mainly about your life in a career sense. The reason I say professional is, maybe it is a career. Maybe you're going to get a new job. But maybe you have these ideas of how you want to make money outside of that, or side hustles, or you have your own business, you have your own company. I have my own company, so specifically I'm thinking professional in a different sense. And You know, honestly, I do want to spend more time on that YouTube, and one day I want to be a speaker, and I'm going to start filling this out with more things that I want to build my professional life with. The next one is personal growth, and we'll start moving through these a little bit quicker. So again, just pause and fill it out as much as you want. Or if you want, you can write a little bit of each one, and then, you know, go back up to it on your own. And so personal growth, like I love reading. There's ways that I really want to keep growing and learning about. I have like books everywhere, but I also want to learn a lot more about YouTube. I want to speak and I want to get in front of people, and there's tons more to learn there. So go ahead and write whatever you want on your personal growth side of stuff. Things to accomplish. So in your life, if there's anything that you've really wanted to have accomplished. And so for me, that's learn another language. I've told myself that for so many years. I want to do that. I want to write a book at some point in my life. Just some examples. Things to learn. It's okay if you end up repeating yourself often. Don't think it has to only go into one space. I think if you are seeing yourself repeating, that's a great sign. An absolutely wonderful sign that this is really important, that you should put this stuff on your vision board. And one of the reasons why I like all this writing, it'll give you a lot later when you're creating the vision board. I think vision boards can be fun and you can just pull pictures from anywhere, but if you really write this stuff down, whoa, my voice cracked. Hold on. If you write all this stuff down, you can come back to it and see where you want to go. I think it's better to have a very clear sense of direction than just kind of haphazardly put stuff together and start heading out. It's better to be really prepared when you head in the direction that you want to go. So for things to learn, for me, a lot of this stuff aligns with what I was saying before. Health and body. This can be how you want to improve your looks. It can also be health conditions. If you have some kind of health condition that can be improved by diet or exercise, maybe it's something you want to start there. Or maybe you want to improve your body, the look to it. I think that's a very common one. People want some kind of ideal body. And, you know that I want to build more muscle. So I'm going to fill that out with that information. Objects is anything like, I want this car. I've been dreaming about this car for my whole life. I want this house. So you just imagine like what kind of house you want. I at first left this blank. I'm like, I don't think I really want any objects at first. And then I came back to it as I was filling out the board and realized, wait, there are some things that I really want. And so I'll show you that later. So if at any time you're like, nah, you know what? I don't think this section is for me. It's okay. Maybe later you'll fill some stuff out. Places to visit. This can be places you've always dreamed about going. Europe. I want to drink a coffee in Paris. I want to drink some sake with businessmen in Japan. Like whatever it might be. Places to visit. People to meet. If you are craving to meet someone, or you've always dreamed about meeting someone, one day I will shake the president's hand. One day I'll travel and meet my favorite actor, whatever it might be, okay? And whatever you put down, it's totally fine. This is your dream, this is your ideal future. Things to do. If there's something that you specifically want to do, we talked about traveling. I think a lot of people bind this in with traveling. So if there's somewhere you wanted to go and do, like I've always wanted to go to Disney World, or I wanted to travel to Japan and go to this specific place in Japan. I wanted to go do that thing. I wanted to paraglide or jump out of a plane, whatever is a thing to do that you have dreamed about wanting to do. And so that's all the questions. If you have other thoughts on other questions you think are important, yeah, feel free to say it. You know, we can always do more vision boards. I think it's always a fun activity to do. So on the next slide, you're going to put pictures. You're going to place the pictures on the vision board, and you're going to keep arranging them into what you feel like is a pleasant order, and then enjoy it. So the next slide is completely blank. Okay? There's nothing on here. This is when you can start pulling things that you want to pull. When you're searching for photos, you're just going to go to Google and you're going to search anything, okay? These are for personal use. You're not using it for business purposes or anything. So just grab any photo you want and stick it on your vision board. So for relationships, I want to be a good father. I love the beach. I know I'm going to live on the beach. I've always dreamed of living on the beach. That's what I'm going to do. That's where I was living. I just moved to a city so I can be closer to my girlfriend for a little bit. But the beach is where I want to be. And so, I'm going to type in happy family. Oh, you're seeing the whole thing. It's like happy family on the beach, white man, Asian woman. Let's just type that in, right? Because that's what my life is going to be. I mean, it is. I have an Asian girlfriend at the moment. And so, like, it's like, I don't know about these photos, but you can see this is one of the ones I have. That's actually, where the heck is it? Right here. So this is on my board, right? I just search a bunch of different stuff like family playing video games or happy family on the beach. And, that's how you find your photo. And so, like, there's stuff about being a speaker. So I'm searching speaker on stage, right? And there's like people that don't look like me. When you're building the vision board, you want to make it as easy as possible and something that you can really see, like easy to imagine yourself, right? And so, like, this might be a wonderful picture, but I wouldn't use this on my vision board because I'm never going to be this woman or anything like this woman. So I'm not going to use it. And in fact, like, even this, for example, this guy is pretty slender. I'm not slender. This doesn't make me like think it's me. This is cool. Like, I could imagine he's a little bit buffer, but like then I'm looking at these are all the back of people's heads. And it's like, I don't feel like a speaker on stage where people are looking at them. And so speaker on stage behind. And so, like, this is given a sense of, behind the speaker, right? And so people are looking at him, and I'm like, okay, this is giving me a sense. If I'm going to be a speaker in the future, it would be something like this. And so, honestly, take as long as you want. Like, this can be fun. And so you can just scroll and find a photo that looks fun. And if this really speaks to you, like, this seems like it's fun. Like, whatever your goal is, you find one. You just click copy image and you go over to your board, boom, stick it on there. And if you want, just throw it on the side so that you can still see what you've written. And then you can go find some more stuff. It's as simple as that. What's another example? Objects. Like, if you're looking for a home, or like you have a dream home, large 5-bedroom home. And so you get an idea, what your home would look like. If you imagine it would be in Malibu, you can just type that in. And so, like, you get a whole different picture of what a home would look like. And so this is your dream home. Just copy it and stick it on here. And then you can keep doing that. Like, if you want to find a bunch of different homes, that's totally fine. Like, right, this is fun for you, and you could stick them all around here. I love this activity because it just gets in your mind of like the possibilities. You see all these homes, you're like, this is cool. Man, like, this is cool. And then when you're looking at this, I think it's great to resonate with, do I really want this in life? There are certain things that you need to do to become the person who gets things like this. And so if you really want something like this, you will become a different person. And like, as you do these vision boards, they will change over time, and you'll see like how you start becoming this person. But again, it's important to question it, right? If other people have told you that this is beautiful, and you're like looking at it like, wow, yeah, this is beautiful, I should put this on there. But you're not in your head like, I want to live there. And like, it's not for you. Because I'm looking at this, and I'm like, this is cool. Like, I would totally go there for a weekend. But I don't want to live in a place like this. It just doesn't speak to me. But honestly, like, this doesn't speak to me anymore. I live in Vietnam, and having a giant house doesn't seem that great anymore. Like, I watch YouTube videos and I can see people's homes, and they're in America or something, and they have so much living space. That's just right. The standard of living is so high. There's so much living space, and I don't really need that much living space. I don't. I mean, I guess it's fine sometimes to be away from other people in your living vicinity, but You don't really need that all the time. I'm saying that like you could get bugged by other people, but you don't really need that all the time. You don't need that much space. That's how I feel, at least. So I don't need that much space. So that's why I have, found photos that are small. And I just typed in, like beautiful kitchen, small space, or wherever it is, bedroom or home theater, small space. Yeah. And then just like look through these. Like this is speaking to me, right? Like home theater. I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is cool. And it's like, do I imagine it would look like this? Yeah, maybe. This, yeah, wow, that looks really cool, right? And so I'm like flipping through them, like just getting a feel off them. And I think this activity is great because you're imagining what you could possibly have. And so, if we go to mine, I found one that I thought looked so cool. This one, I'm like, yeah, I would posters on the wall. Like people use websites or Pinterest to get ideas of how they want to make their house. This is essentially what you're doing. Ideas for your future. You're like doing Pinterest for your future. And so I have this one. I'm like, this is awesome. I hope that gives you a sense of how to put some photos on here. Again, ask some questions if you want, but you can pull any photo and just drop it on here. Just go to Google and search in anything that you're thinking about. And I'll go to mine and I'll show you mine and then we can talk about it, but feel free to start pulling things onto your vision board. So here's my vision board. Again, like, you want to use your goals as much as possible, the things that you've written down, even though there's examples here. I mean, you could pull from it if you want, but your life is totally different. So I hope this doesn't influence what you've written before, but maybe it'll inspire you to write some more stuff. It's really got to be based off of the things that have spoken to your soul for such a long time. When I say that, it's like the thing that this little voice in your head keeps coming back up and being like, do that thing, or, you can't do that thing, but you really want to. And when you hear that thought so often throughout your head, that's something you really want. And maybe you've tried to talk that down in your life, but you should really let that voice speak up and you should follow it a little bit. And so, I don't know what that voice is that's speaking to you. I know what the voice is that's speaking to me. I'm going to share some of that. And so in life goals, I wrote about wanting to speak Japanese. Currently I'm living in Vietnam, and I think it's important that I learn Vietnamese. So I am. I'm actively learning Vietnamese, and it'd be cool to speak both languages. This is how I wrote in paragraphs. I also want to be a speaker and write at least one book someday. It would be great to help people improve their lives. This would make me feel accomplished and it would make me feel good. So, I wrote all this and then I started searching the internet for maybe pictures of being a speaker and started pulling pictures onto here. So rather than just pulling it onto that empty page, which I did with a couple, I started pulling them onto here first. The reason why, I'll show you the next one, I'm thinking relationships and I'm thinking about a family and I'm trying to get that idea in my mind. So I'm pulling in pictures. I'm in Vietnam. My girlfriend's Vietnamese. I'm going to have like half Vietnamese, half white children. So like how, I don't know how to pull that in. And I'm imagining that I'm probably going to have two daughters, but like, I don't really know, right? I could have a son or I could have a daughter, like who knows? So I found that, a little bit interesting. And also I'm not really sure how to go about it. So I started pulling in all of these pictures and I was like, all right, I'll use some of these later. Professional. I'm just writing stuff here. Maybe I pulled stuff onto the other slides, right? This says speaking engagements. So here, I'm just being honest with myself here and I'll read this to you. Honestly, I would love if my professional future combined with my life goals, whether that's making money through YouTube, book sales, or speaking engagements, I'd be really happy. And so like, you're seeing this now, but when you write this, nobody else is going to see it. So write whatever you want. And like, it's okay to be happy. I know that might sound weird to some people, but sometimes we don't allow ourselves to be happy. I am definitely included in there. Have a great life, honestly. I live in Vietnam. I have a lot of freedom. I've traveled the world, and there's still times where I'm unhappy. We're just human. We're going to be unhappy. And there are things that make me happy. And a lot of them are from putting in effort or doing some kind of work like this video I'm doing now. I'm getting joy out of filming this, but I know I'll get a lot of joy if this helps out 1 or 2 people, or if some family members do it. Like, I know that'll bring me a lot of joy. So that's why I'm doing it. So that's what I've written here. I also own a marketing company, and I've had the marketing company for about 7 years now. It's doing well. I mean, it brings in profit, and you'll notice that it's not on here. There are some other ideas around it, and that's okay. Like, if you have a vision and it doesn't align with some of the things that you're doing now, it's okay. Like, my marketing company, I don't see ever going away. In fact, I see it building and stuff, but for the way my vision is, or the things that I really, really want to do, it's not speaking to me in that sense. There's other things that are speaking to me, these other voices. So I'm writing the voices out. And there may be other ways that, you know, for me, the marketing company comes up in other ways, and maybe that's financial means. Personal growth, you know, just wrote stuff in here because it's, again, like kind of repeating itself about the languages and book writing. I haven't put any pictures on here. What important to me is I am and will continue to live a life of learning. So I think it's great if you write a lot here, because you can save this whole PowerPoint, you can save whatever you write, or if you're just writing in a journal, and you can always come back to this. You can always look back at it, and it'll make you feel good. It'll make you feel good for sure. Things to accomplish. Again, it's right on track to what my other slides were saying. And things to learn, very much on track with, I want to learn another language, Vietnamese, Japanese, so I have some stuff around that. I want to learn how to be a good father, a good speaker. I want to write a book, and I want to learn how to be a YouTuber, which honestly I've been trying for like 6 years and not done it. Maybe it's just the consistency of it, but I want to learn how to be better at that. So for health and body, I want to have more muscles, less fat. I just shaved today, and honestly, like, there's some things I see, I'm like, I can tell that I gained some more weight just seeing my facial structure, because, you know, a beard will hide all of that, a lot of your weight, and I could see it right now. And it's like, you know what? I kind of like the shaved face. Feels good. I can feel, right? When you got a beard, you can't really feel. But yeah, I'm just ranting a little bit right now because I want to have some less fat. And I know there are ways to do that, but by imagining it, seeing it, thinking about it, as you'll see in the photo that I've used, I think it's a good vision. So we'll get to that in a second. Objects. At first I had nothing written here, and then I ended up doing a ton because I have this ideal like thought of a game room. Like, you know, I'm throwing all these pictures on here, but like I want a good office and I want a good game room to play video games in because I like video games. I've always wanted a home theater, and boom, 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 more thoughts started coming through. And so I put these photos on here. Places to visit. I really loved visiting Japan, and I want to go back there sometime. I feel like I don't have to visit anywhere. Like I don't need to, because I've traveled around the world for like 2 years or something like that. I can't really remember, but I traveled around the world trying to find where I wanted to live. So I feel accomplished with that. I don't feel like I need to keep traveling or see anywhere else. I do miss Japan though. Like, that's the country I thought I was going to want to live in, but I visited it after I visited Vietnam, and I was like, you know what? It doesn't speak to my soul as much as Vietnam does. So Vietnam is the place I want to live. But it'd be great to go back to Japan and drink some more sake, maybe eat at some more yatais, which are like these little carts in Japan, little food carts. People to meet, nothing for me at this time. Like, I'm not craving to meet anybody. Things to do, I love to buy a house or have a rental property. Love to have an income to live off of that I wouldn't even have to work. And so I'm like, how do I search for that? That was kind of difficult. I just kept going to Google and saying like passive income, typing in different stuff, but honestly I didn't find too much. And I realized, like, living in Vietnam, this is a picture I pulled off the internet, this is not my bank account. If I had this amount, so I'll give you an example. I had to do a little bit of math here. You don't have to do something like this if you don't want, but I was like 544,000. If this was in an investment account and I got just 8% from it, that'd be about $43,000 a year. Divide that by 12 months. It's like $3,600 a month. And I'm like, that's way more than I need to live off of. And even with a family of 5, this is plenty of money in Vietnam, like plenty. So I'm like, this is fine. That's great. Like if I had that amount in an investment account, I would never have to work ever again. Like period. There's no work would have to be done. I could still do stuff. I could still work. I could do whatever I want. But I want to get to that point where I never have to do any work ever, but still choose to do stuff. And I think, talking like this or being a speaker or writing a book, those are things I'd want to do regardless because they'd give me fulfillment and hopefully I'd be helping people, which would give me some fulfillment and not just making money just to make money. I can't remember, but like a large percentage of Americans retire with less than 50,000 in their savings. That's like in America, that's not even enough to live off of for like a couple years. I don't think. Maybe like 2 years, maybe 3 years, something like that. But like, wow, it's just not enough. But if you had that money in Vietnam, you could go you could go so much further. So I'm glad my vision, has me being here. This is where it's led me to. This is a vision board that I have created. You can take a look at it. I'm also going to walk through it so you can feel a little bit about how I did it, okay? This is, again, supposed to give you a sense of how you can do it. I feel like I am talking a lot about myself, and in fact, I am. I hope it's just to inspire you, though. I hope you're feeling a little bit about like, oh, I could do that, or I can do this, or how to get a sense of it. And this is all just to help you. I promise. I don't really want to talk about myself. I would have been great not sharing this with you at all and just secretly hiding in a corner and being like, my vision board. Probably some of the things that are popping out to you. One of them is this body. This is what I want to accomplish. And so, I want to have a more muscular build, and I'm on track to have this. And I'm going to show you some past vision boards so you end up seeing like where I've come to. I just wanted to show you this one first because this will give you a sense of what we, of everything we built, what we ended up having. You'll also see that I have that photo of the family, but ended up putting my face and my girlfriend's face on that. And so, we're on a beach and we're a family. We'll wear those outfits maybe one day because I'm going to live out the dream. I'm going to live out this vision by wearing this. Right here, I have Japanese and Vietnamese. This is a picture from like a book, but in Vietnamese it says "Có phải tôi nhỏ bé," and in Japanese it says "Watashi chisai." I guess these are both questions, and I can actually read these. I studied Japanese in Japan for a month, and I'm studying Vietnamese right now. It's saying the same thing, but it's very different. Like, so if this is in English, it's like, I'm small. In Japanese, though, it's I small. And then in Vietnamese, it's have yes, I small baby? Baby? Like, what? Like, but it just means the same thing. But this is, I'm still learning Vietnamese. So it's just, anyway. One day I hope to be able to speak both of them. I want a cool game room. I want to have, my family to be able to be in the same game room. I want to write a book one day. I get that bank account thing, but really that's like a savings account. That's not like, doesn't need to be my checkings. This could just be the savings account I want to achieve one day. So again, these don't have to be within a time frame. As you can see, there's 1,000 subscribers I want on YouTube. Right now I'm at a little over 560. I think I'm at 566 at the moment. And so this could happen soon. It could happen in a few years too. Like, it could, who knows when this will happen. And then this, who knows when that'll happen either, but these could be very far apart from each other. And all these photos over here, in Vietnam, they have these thin homes that are like 4 stories high, 3 stories, whatever it might be. But I imagine this could be the home. So the first floor could be like the living area and a kitchen. And then the next floor is like a home theater. maybe that second floor also has the game room in it, like they're two separate rooms. And I thought the third floor would be all the bedrooms, and then the top floor would be an office space, or like a study space as well. So my office space, my wife's office space, maybe study space for my kids, so that everyone can kind of work together. Everyone in Vietnam is kind of together all the time. It's very community based, very family based. So I want the areas to be very communal, where everyone can be together and do that activity. If I go to the first one I created, this is in 2020. And the reason why I'm going to show you some old ones is to give you a sense of the importance of creating vision boards and how it can actually grow over time. So like, put your time and put your energy into creating these because it works. Vision boards definitely work and they help you improve your future. And so this is my first one. I created this during COVID and I was dreaming about like going to Japan and, having someone pour me sake. Like I really just imagined a woman pouring me sake in Japan. I was like, that would be so cool. Like a woman pouring me a woman pouring me sake in Japan. This is 1,000 subscribers. I was imagining this. It's now 2025, so this is 5 years ago. I was imagining this. Still have not 1,000 subscribers. Staying in a traditional Japanese home. This is like a very popular picture in Japan, like a space. Drinking with some Japanese businessmen. And just to let you know, I have done all of these things in Japan. I have not stayed at like a super traditional style place, but I went to Japan and actually I had a girl in Japan in a park pour me sake. So I was like, this, like literally lived this out exactly. I have a picture taken here, lived that out exactly. I wanted to be a leader. Both these things talk about being a leader. I think I'm still growing into that. I mean, I'd still love to be a leader. A lot of people do ask me questions, and I hope that I can inspire them. This quote helps me. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, and do more, and become more, you are a leader. Makes me feel good, makes me think about it like, okay, maybe I am a leader. Maybe. This is like a remarkable tablet. I wanted to get one of these. This is an object that I wanted, and I got it. I wanted to read more. And so I had a lot of books on this. Oh my God, my voice is getting lost. I'm not getting my voice back. I got a lot. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. I got a lot of books on this, and then now I have like a lot of physical books because I love reading. And this is the first picture of the body that I imagine. I put my head on here, and here's the body. And now I am more muscular than this body. At the time, I was just overweight, like during COVID, just overweight. So, I want to push past this body. And then I wanted to like live on the beach and work on the beach. And I imagined doing this. And I tried sitting on the beach and working. It doesn't work. You just want to sit on the beach and stare. But living in a beach town is wonderful. I've done it. I got to live in a beach town. And like, that's where I decided I was going to live. That's where I want to retire to, a beach town. The next one I created is 2 years later. And this is finally when I feel like I'm gonna be traveling. And I'm watching all these YouTube videos on how to pack efficiently. And I'm like, oh man, I wanna pack like that. Again, right above that, still 1,000 subscribers. 2 years later, I'm still dreaming about 1,000 subscribers. I've not gotten that one, but that dream is still there. I love Robert Greene. Never waste valuable time or mental peace of mind on the affair of others. That is too high of a price to pay. I'm often like getting lost in other people's thoughts or worrying too much, so I need to remember that. I wanted to get better at lighting. I have gotten a lot better at lighting, and I have lights that I bought when I travel. I put this picture on here, so I've taken things from the last one and put it on here because they haven't happened yet, and there's some things I still want. And so I was still imagining being in Japan and having a Japanese woman pour me sake. And I think my mom saw these at that time, and I was like, what do you think about this? She's like, that's wonderful. Like, it's fine. There's also a joke that I would one day move to Japan and marry a Japanese woman, which I kind of believed. I always knew I was going to travel and probably live somewhere else. I just felt that inside of me, like strongly. When you do this, it really, really brings the stuff into the ether. It brings it into the possibility of happening. As I've traveled and I went to Japan imagining that my future might be there, I might find a wife there, well, I gotta try it. And I realized that this is a wonderful life, but living here isn't for me, or finding a wife here might not be for me. And so I'm still imagining it at this time. Want to drink with some Japanese businessmen inside of a restaurant? I have done that in Japan. Wanted to like eat at one of these little shacks? I have done that. This says ramen. I can actually read it now, but this is just a little ramen shack. And then I loved samurai. I just put this on here. I was interested in like learning more about it. I ended up going to a samurai museum in Japan. And then this is before I traveled. I was like, I want to learn 2 languages. And so everyone tells me I need to learn Spanish. Everyone's always told me to learn Spanish. Never had any interest in it, but people have told me so much. You've got to learn Spanish. You've got to learn Spanish. So I was trying to learn Spanish for such a long time. And so I have these 2 on there. Japanese, because I've always dreamed of it, and Spanish, because that's the thing to learn, especially if you're an American. And so I actually went to several different Spanish-speaking countries, and I studied Spanish in Colombia. I studied Spanish in Peru. I also studied some Spanish in Mexico. So I've studied Spanish, and then I left, right? I'm living in Asia now, so I've still studied it, and probably going to have very little use to me as I live in Asia. I didn't master it or anything, but that was part of the process. I learned. And so if we move over here to 2024, this is the last vision board I did, and this is the one I kind of like least. I just never really looked at this one after I created it. The other ones I looked at a lot. This one I didn't really look at. But here's a picture of just breaking free from finances or needing money, just complete freedom. I have achieved that. I still got to earn some money, but like I've completely broken free. I feel like I have enough money. It's something I feel really good about. Like, I'm not rich, I don't have infinite money, but I have enough. I can do whatever I want. And some people say the thing of fuck you money. My girlfriend asked me that. She's like, do you have fuck you money? And I was like, you know what that means? And she's like, yeah. She explained it. And I was like, yeah, it's like if you don't know, it's if you have like a boss and you're working at a company and you like get mad at him, or you don't want to work there, or the job is shit, you're gonna say fuck you and like leave, just walk out the door. And so that's what fuck you money is. It is a thing. So I know I just cursed a lot, but it is actually a thing that people talk about. And so I was like, yeah, of course I have that. I mean, I have enough, but also I have my own company. Like, nobody owns me. I've fired clients that are not a good fit. Like that I have enough. I'm free. So this is the same photo. Like you saw in the new one, I brought this one over. I got Japanese and Vietnamese on here. I want to write a book someday. I have the title under there. I just put this under here because I'm I haven't written it yet, so I'm not sharing the title or anything. An image to feel good about it. And then I put here like 10,000 subscribers. I'm really gonna do it. And this is like, middle of last year. Still not at 1,000 yet. And so here's a picture of a family and speaking 2 languages, which has changed, from Spanish and Japanese to Japanese and Vietnamese, which I still want to learn. And here's a picture of like, this person reading Japanese. This whole thing didn't resonate with me that much, to be honest. I really didn't look at it that much. I think I created this fast. And so I'm a lot more excited about the one that I've created now, which is why I have that as my background. And I will be looking at this constantly. You can keep copying and pasting images on here and rearranging it as long as you want. I wanted it to be aesthetically pleasing. So, I kept moving stuff around a lot. Like, I like that he's looking at this. I want these lines to be kind of symmetrical. So I spent a lot of time on this. Like, the most time I might have ever spent on it, I don't know, a couple days I've spent on this. So you're welcome to do that. The last thing is congratulations, you have finished your vision board. Now that you're done the vision board, what I would say is you can grab this and then drag it all the way to the top. And so, it'll be saved here. From here, you can, create a copy of it. You can pull it out of here if you want. But if you just go to slideshow, it'll take up your whole screen, and then just hold down Windows, and on your keyboard, you will hold down Windows. Sorry, I'm pulling this up now. I need to go back to the slide. On your keyboard, you will hold down the Windows key and also the the print screen. So hold down Windows and print screen at the same time, and then you get a pop-up. Click this, go to full screen, and then boom, it'll take a screenshot. And then all you need to do is go to your files, find where the screenshot folder is, and when you go to it, you'll find the file here, which is in full graphics. You can also download it from here by saying download, and you can choose if you want it as an image. But for some reason, these aren't full quality. So I wouldn't really recommend downloading it like that. I've tried, but the quality isn't great. If you have some other recommendations, that's fine. Otherwise, Windows key, print screen, and then you got it. You can print it out, you can put it somewhere, you can look at it often. But by seeing this a lot, it'll really help you work towards your goals. Like, I feel like I'm a lot closer to doing these things. I've also accomplished a lot in my past, and I'm really happy, and I'm gonna keep doing these. These really, really help you accomplish a lot in life. You're officially done this video. You can come back to it, watch it if you want some other ideas, but you have this whole document. And so if you haven't downloaded it, go ahead and download it, and just walk through this on your own time and take it as long as you want. Keep coming back to it. It's fine. You can save a copy of this and come back to it in the future, like another year, to do it again if you want. Or you can do it later this year. It's totally fine. But take as long as you want to do this. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. If you have a comment on it or think like something could have changed, whatever it might be, like, just let me know. No worries. Thank you for watching this. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you found it helpful. I'll see you next time. Bye. I don't talk this much. That is why my throat is so dry.